Chapter 22. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Today is destined to be a disaster day for Nara Hikari, because his courage is about to burst the sky. At this time, his mother Nara Masami has been sitting on the sofa in the hall for a long time without saying a word. Even his father is cautious and dares not make a sound even when drinking water. In fact, Nara Hikari's mother Nara Masami is not a pedantic person. Nara Hikari's father Nara Usagi was also a romantic man when he was young, but he met the strong Nara Masami and drove away his rivals. Otherwise Nara Hikari might have more than one mother. Nara Masami thought that after Nara Hikari and Udatane Koharu were together, it would be over. After all, Udatane Koharu is a shadow-level strongman, and his family is also a Udatane clan that is not small, whether in terms of status or strength. Nara Hikari and Udatane Koharu are a perfect match. But Nara Masami never expected that her son Nara Hikari would be so exaggerated. She looked at the girls in the hall. Almost all the big and small families in Konoha were included. Smelly boy, are you collecting girls? Nara Masami looked at Nara Hikari with anger and helplessness. Smelly boy, stop pretending to be dead, and introduce these excellent girls to me quickly. Oh, good mother. Nara Hikari came over from behind. You think I am willing? Of course I am willing. It's because my system is a system of many children and many blessings. Although I like my system very much, you can't blame me entirely. Who else can you blame? It's all for rewards. This is the nth time that Nara Hikari has complained about the system, but his system is not intelligent and did not respond at all. Nara Hikari heard his mother's words, walked up to the girls and really started to introduce them one by one. Every time a girl was introduced, Nara Masami's eyelids twitched. Nara Usagi on the side wanted to give a thumbs up. These two are Uzumaki Kyushinhui and Uzumaki Fuso from the Uzumaki clan of the Whirlpool country. Nara Hikari pointed at a pair of twins among the many girls. Uzumaki clan. Nara Masami was shocked. This is Senju Otami from the Senju clan. Nara Hikari pointed at the girl with light green hair among the girls. Senju clan. This is Uchiha Fumi from the Uchiha clan. Then he pointed at the black-haired, blue-eyed girl wearing a white combat uniform. Uchiha clan. This is Sarutobi Biwako from the Sarutobi clan. Sarutobi clan. Hinata Hui from the Hyuga family, Yamanaka Manshin from the Yamanaka family, Akimichi Yen from the Akimichi family, Aburame Tianwei from the Aburame family, Inazuka Xiang from the Inazuka family, Haruno Mi from the Haruno family, Karama Shizuka from the Karama family, Yuhi Ran from the Yuhi family. Nara Hikari introduced the girls from the big and small families in the room, as well as some girls from the civilians. A total of 26 girls stood in the hall. Nara Hikari, come with me. Nara Masami was silent for a moment and pulled Nara Hikari aside. What exactly do you want to do? Isn't this brought to you to see? All the families of Konoha are here. Do you want to win over all the families of Konoha? Or do you have other ideas? Mother, you think too much. I just brought it to you to see. Do these girls agree? Of course, otherwise why would I bring it? Nara Masami was speechless. After a moment of silence, she looked at her only son Nara Hikari. Can your body handle it? Mother, don't worry about this. You're really going to piss me off. Mother, I'll leave these people to you. Please help me talk to them. They may live in our house in the future. Hey, what sin did I, Nara Masami, commit in my previous life to give birth to such a troublesome thing like you? Can you let me live a few more years? Don't you want to hold your grandchildren? Okay, I owe you. Nara Masami glared at Nara Hikari and walked towards the girls. Nara Hikari was driven out by his mother Nara Masami. Nara Hikari didn't know what Nara Masami said to the girls, but all the girls moved to the Nara family the next day. Fortunately, Nara Hikari's house was big enough. 26 girls were not crowded at all, and each had a room. Nara Hikari was glad that his first step was completed. The next step is to go to the girls' families and meet their parents. This is a big project, but there is one more thing. The thing is that Udatane Koharu moved to live with the child and has not paid attention to Nara Hikari for a day. Udatane Koharu's original words were that she thought Nara Hikari would bring people back, but she didn't expect him to take care of Konoha. Fortunately, after a few days of coaxing, Udatane Koharu calmed down. Nara Hikari's life returned to normal. He was normal, but the whole Konoha was abnormal, when I heard that 26 girls moved into the home of 21-year-old Nara Hikari, the advisor of Konoha Hokage. For a time, Nara Hikari became a role model for Konoha men, and Konoha men admired Nara Hikari even more. The women felt a little strange, but Nara Hikari was the advisor of Konoha Hokage, so they didn't dare to gossip about this matter openly, discuss it privately. More importantly, some girls also wanted to have this luck and be noticed by the young and handsome Hokage advisor Nara Hikari, flying up the tree and becoming a phoenix. But in the next period of time, Nara Hikari had no time to attract bees and butterflies. 7 days ago, the intelligence personnel of the Umbu returned to Konoha with 2 pieces of news. Mysterious organization rose rapidly in the ancestral country, and they killed the daimyo of the ancestral country and occupied the entire territory of the ancestral country. Another piece of news is that the daimyo of the fire country died suddenly due to illness, and the new daimyo is about to succeed. Please invite the current Hokage of Konoha village to attend the succession ceremony. Nara Hikari immediately put down his work and went to the Hokage building and came to the Hokage's office. Hikari is here. Tobarama smiled at Nara Hikari, who was approaching. I heard that you hooked up with the beauty Senju Otami from our Senju clan. Hokage, do you know? Of course, you are really good. No. Nara Hikari scratched the back of his head. I am still single, and you have so many partners. Nara Hikari didn't know how to respond. I can't say that Lord Hokage needs to work hard. Okay, let's talk business. Nara Hikari looked serious. You go to the land of the ancestors. I'm going to attend the daimyo succession ceremony. Yes, Lord Hokage, do you want to dispatch Umbu personnel to go to the capital of the land of fire with you? No need, I have a candidate this time. I plan to take Hiruzen, Danzo, Tofu, Menyen, Kagami, and my Hokage guards with me. Nara Hikari heard the names of Hiruzen and the others, and he already had an idea in his mind. As a great hero in the battle, he couldn't escape fear. After all, I'll leave tomorrow, and Konoha will be temporarily handed over to you. When I come back, you will leave for the land of the ancestors. Yes, Lord Hokage. The Lord Hokage that Nara Hikari called out at this time no longer felt the same as before. Chapter 23. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After Tobarama left, Nara Hikari took over the affairs of Konoha. Of course, he put aside the matters that needed the Hokage's signature and approval. After doing everything, Nara Hikari walked to the window and looked at the huge Konoha village. Koharu Udatain and Biwako Sarutobi stood behind him. Hokage no longer trusts me as much as before. Koharu Udatain and Biwako Sarutobi were silent. With the power in my hands, I can completely overthrow the regime and sit on the position of Hokage. Nara Hikari's words startled Koharu Udatain and Biwako Sarutobi. However, Koharu Udatain soon regained her composure. Sarutobi Biwako continued to look at Nara Hikari's back in surprise. What are your plans? Udatain Koharu thought about it and spoke. No matter who becomes the Hokage, just don't offend me. I can choose to turn a blind eye. If anyone dares to touch my bottom line, I don't mind making him disappear. Although Nara Hikari's current strength plus the power in his hands, no one can stop him from doing anything in Konoha, including Tobarama, but Nara Hikari needs to consider too many things. The first one is Nara Hikari's own parents, and many women. Forget it, I don't want this Hokage. Nara Hikari walked aside and sat down. Hitachi, no matter what decision you make in the future, I will support you. Yeah. Hitachi, don't forget me. Sarutobi Biwako also came over. This Hokage wife who was originally going to become the third generation Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen, now she is in love with Nara Hikari. Well, having you here is more important than anything else. Let's go. After we're done here, let's go home. Well, Nara Hikari took Udatain Koharu and Sarutobi Biwako back to the Nara family. In a blink of an eye, it has been 10 days since Tobarama left Konoha, but just as Nara Hikari was about to send members of the Umbu to the capital of the Land of Fire to check the situation, Uchiha Kagami, who had disappeared for 10 days, appeared at the gate of Konoha village covered in blood. Advisor, it's bad. The teacher, the teacher is dead. What? Nara Hikari was shocked and a little bit unbelievable when he heard the news. Tobirama should have died in the late stage of World War I when he went to the Hidden Cloud village for negotiations, but World War I has been over for so long, and the negotiations were also conducted by envoys. Tobirama has broken away from his original trajectory, so nothing should happen, with Tobirama's full strength. Who else in the ninja world can kill him? What about the others? I don't know. We, a group of jonin, were scattered, so I came back first. You go and rest first, I'll find others. Nara Hikari merged into the shadow under his feet, advisor. Uchiha Kagami was about to follow, but found that he had lost Nara Hikari's chakra aura. Don't worry, with the advisor here, go and rest first. Uchiha Fumihuai, who had just arrived at the gate, comforted Uchiha Kagami, it's all our fault. If we could be stronger, the teacher wouldn't have to die to protect us and lead the enemy away. It's all my fault. Uchiha Kagami burst into tears while speaking. He fell into deep self-blame. Uchiha Fumihuai, who was standing aside, didn't know how to comfort him, so he stood aside and watched Uchiha Kagami vent silently. Nara Hikari, who left Konoha, quickly found Hiruzen and his group based on the chakra aura. At this time, Hiruzen and others were trying their best to resist the enemy. This group of enemies is composed of 10 jonins. The enemies have surrounded Hiruzen and others. Hand over Tobirama's body, and I can consider letting you die quickly. The enemy who led the group had an extremely arrogant expression. Nara Hikari sensed the realm of Hiruzen and others. Hiruzen and Danzo are elite jonins, Menyen jonins, Akimichi Tofu jonins, and the remaining 3 Hokage guards are also jonins. If you don't know what's good for you, then go and die. More than a dozen enemies rushed towards Hiruzen and others. Various ninjutsu and ninja tools were summoned around Hiruzen and others. Just when these enemies thought they could kill these troublesome guys in one wave and get Tobirama's body, more than a dozen shadow soldiers appeared beside them. The shadow soldiers appeared very suddenly. 6 enemies were killed as soon as they appeared. The remaining 4 people took a few steps back in an instant, and looked at the shadow soldiers. Vigilantly after keeping a safe distance, just when the 4 of them were focusing on the shadow soldier, Nara Hikari suddenly appeared beside them. Both hands with the power of steel swung to both sides at the same time. The 4 enemies' heads flew off before they could use any defensive measures. Plop, 4 bodies fell to the ground. Hiruzen and the others recovered and were delighted to see that the person coming was Nara Hikari. Go back first. Hiruzen was about to say something but was interrupted by Nara Hikari. Under the escort of Nara Hikari, everyone returned to Konoha smoothly. Looking at the shocking wound on Tobirama's body, what happened? The counselor is like this. After Hiruzen's description, Nara Hikari understood the whole process. Tobirama could not escape the arrangement of fate, or the arrangement of the plot. After attending the daimyo succession ceremony, Tobirama and the others stayed for 3 days before preparing to return to Konoha, but on the way back to Konoha, Tobirama still encountered Kinkaku and Ginkaku who defected from the Hidden Cloud village, but this time there were not only the 2 of them, but also a group of mysterious forces, under the siege of Kinkaku, Ginkaku, and 5 Kage-level warriors with mysterious strength. Tobirama was ultimately defeated. He was hit by the 6 Paths ninja tools and fled with Hiruzen and others after being seriously injured. When he was about to be caught up, he was forced to let Hiruzen and others go first, and he stayed to stop the enemy. Before he died, Tobirama seriously injured Kinkaku, Ginkaku, and 3 other mysterious Kage-level warriors. Hiruzen and others returned to rob Tobirama's body and continued to escape. On the way, they separated from Uchiha Kagami. Nara Hikari sighed after hearing this. Tobirama still couldn't escape death. Did the Hokage-sama explain? Nara Hikari asked. Hiruzen and others were silent for a while. Tell me, what's wrong? Advisor, the Hokage-sama appointed Sarutobi Hiruzen as the 3rd Hokage. Mito Kato finally mustered up the courage to speak. Nara Hikari was still stunned when he heard this. Then there was silence. The atmosphere was very subtle. Advisor, you will become the elder Hokage. You have a veto over any decision of Konoha. Hokage-sama is so calculating. Nara Hikari wanted to laugh when he heard Tobirama's arrangement before his death. Should I call you Hokage-sama? Nara Hikari looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen. No, you should just call me by my name in the future. Sarutobi Hiruzen had seen how terrifying Nara Hikari was. Tobarama died, and Sarutobi Hiruzen couldn't think of anyone else who could suppress Nara Hikari. Now it is still most important to comfort him. Since you are the Hokage now, I have nothing to do with it. Goodbye, Hokage-sama. Nara Hikari disappeared. After saying that, Hiruzen and others looked at the place where Nara Hikari disappeared. They sighed at the same time. Chapter 24. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The dead body of Tobarama was taken away by the Senju clan. What should we do? After the Senju clan members left, Mito Katakane looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen, and was a little worried about this close friend. In fact, he is more suitable for the position of Hokage than me. I want to give the position of Hokage to him. Hiruzen, what nonsense are you talking about? We are the teacher's disciples and should inherit the position of Hokage. Why should we give it to outsiders? He is not an outsider. If he hadn't been there, we might have died on the battlefield during the last turmoil in the ninja world. Besides, he just saved our lives. I don't agree. He is just a Hokage advisor. What is he afraid of? Does he dare to betray the will of the Hokage and betray Konoha? Danzo looked at the indecisive Hiruzen angrily. He began to hate him in his heart. If he hadn't hesitated, the position of Hokage should have been his. Danzo clenched his fist unwillingly, but, okay, don't think too much, arrange the teacher's funeral first. Yeah. Mito Katoen's words made Sarutobi Hiruzen temporarily put aside this idea. The next day, Konoha held a funeral for the second-generation Hokage Tobarama. This was a more grand funeral. The sky seemed to feel the sad atmosphere, and it began to drizzle, as if bidding farewell to the departure of a generation of genius. Everyone let the rain hit them. Sarutobi Hiruzen, Shimura Danzo, Akimichi Tofu, Mito Katoen, Uchiha Kagami, and Utainen Koharu stood in front of everyone. They cried very hard. Hiruzen, Danzo, Tofu, Kagami, and Katoen once again fell into deep self-blame. Nara Hikari, who was standing next to Utainen Koharu, hugged her gently and looked at Tobarama's tombstone, but he didn't say anything. If Tobarama hadn't played politics with Nara Hikari, he might not have died. If any one of Tsukumo, Nishido, and Salapi had accompanied him to the capital of the Land of Fire, then this tragedy might not have happened. Tsukumo, Nishido, and Salapi have now all become super shadow-level masters. At this stage, there are not many people in the ninja world who can beat the three of them. After the funeral, everyone left. Sarutobi Hiruzen, who was standing in front of the tombstone, looked at Nara Hikari's back and wanted to speak, but he was stopped by Danzo. Danzo shook his head at Sarutobi Hiruzen. Sarutobi Hiruzen had to swallow the words that were about to come out of his mouth. The grand and sad funeral ended with Sarutobi Hiruzen's inauguration ceremony. Because it was Hiruzen who was appointed as the third Hokage by the second Hokage Tobarama before his death, other families in Konoha village could not say anything. Of course, it was useless to say anything, but there were still people who felt sorry for Nara Hikage. Nara Hikage's strength and contribution were beyond doubt. He led 500 people to repel the 10,000-strong army of the Hidden Cloud village, and successfully defeated the second Raikage. He made the four great nations temporarily cease fire. Then he led 5,000 people to repel the coalition forces of the four great nations. He killed countless people and seriously injured the second Tsuchikage, killed the second Mizukage Hozuki Genjutsu, defeated the second Kazekage and the second Raikage. This honor was a topic that Konoha had been talking about for a long time. Umbu building Umbu Minister's office. Minister, isn't this too unfair? Why should Hiruzen be the Hokage? The position of Hokage should belong to you, Minister. Saito said angrily. Silbai also had a warm and angry expression. Tsukumo said nothing on the side. Nishido, you shouldn't say that. Shut up, Biwako is still here. Utainen Koharu scolded Nishido, but, Minister's wife. Nishido saw the silent Nara Hikari, then looked at Sarutobi Biwako standing behind Nara Hikari, and could only sigh and shut up. Hikari, I'm fine. It doesn't matter who becomes the Hokage. I understand what Lord Tobarama means. He is afraid of the power I have, just like he is afraid of Uchiha Madara. Nara Hikari was silent for a long time before speaking. Uchiha Fumi, who was standing behind Nara Hikari, froze when he heard the name Madara. Nishido and Silbai were also silent when they heard the name Uchiha Madara. Madara's name is well known among the people of this generation in Konoha. He is a powerful figure who established Konoha with Hashirama. Okay, let's stop with this topic. After Nara finished speaking, everyone looked at him. I plan to go to Zuji country in a few days. Is the minister here for that organization that suddenly appeared? Yes, the Zu country is next to the fire country, and this matter must be clarified. Minister, please let me go. Nishido volunteered. No, I want to go out and relax. I'll accompany you. Udatane Koharu was a little worried about Nara Hikari's condition. No, stay and take care of your son. Udatane Koharu heard Nara Hikari mention that his son was not insisting. Go and get busy. Yes, minister. Everyone left, but Sarutobi Biwako did not move. What's wrong, madam? Nara Hikari looked up at Sarutobi Biwako, who did not leave. I apologize to you on behalf of the Sarutobi clan. Sarutobi Biwako thought for a while and spoke. This matter has nothing to do with you. Why are you apologizing? But Sarutobi Hiruzen is a member of the Sarutobi clan after all, and he is my brother. Okay, I don't take it to heart. Nara Hikari stood up and hugged Sarutobi Biwako. He patted her back gently. Sarutobi Biwako also hugged Nara Hikari tightly. Let's go home. Nara Hikari took Sarutobi Biwako's hand and left the Umbu building. Back to the Nara family, all the Nara clan leaders came. Second uncle, eldest uncle, fourth grandfather, clan leader. Hitsu, let's go, let's talk. Fourth grandfather Narashima looked at Nara Hikari with a smile and said. Okay. Nara Hikari followed Narashima and others to the pavilion. Hitsu, do you want to be Hokage? If you want to be Konoha Hokage, I, an old guy, can fight for you. Fourth grandfather, don't make trouble. If you want to be Hokage, I can also fight for you. You kid, what are you talking about? At my age, why should I be Hokage? I still want to live a few more years. Fourth grandfather laughed. The other three breathed a sigh of relief. Narashima and the others came this time because they were actually afraid that Nara Hikaru would have some bad ideas. Actually, I don't care who becomes Hokage. After all, I find it troublesome. I don't even want to be the head of the Umbu anymore. You kid, you don't have to be Hokage, but you must stay in the position of Umbu head. Don't be as lazy as your second uncle. I say, fourth uncle, just talk about Hikaru, why bother with me? Narashi on the side retorted, I know the personalities of the people in the Nara family best. It's a blessing for the ancestors to have a Hikaru in the family. The others were speechless when they heard what Narashima said. Hikaru, if you have any decision, just tell us. Even if you want to be Hokage, we support you. Fourth grandpa, what if I want to leave Konoha? Then we'll leave too. Now that Hikaru is in the family, it's the same wherever we go. The eldest uncle Nara Maru, who had been silent for a long time, suddenly spoke. Yes, Guang, we support you no matter what decision you make. With the current strength of our Nara family, it has far exceeded the Warring States period by several times or even dozens of times. We can start over wherever we go. Narashi came to Nara Guang and patted his shoulder. Well, I am very happy to hear you say this. I will not let the family go to that step unless it is absolutely necessary. Nara Guang learned from his mother Nara Masami that the Nara family paid too much in the Warring States period. Too many relatives died. Since joining Konoha, this hard-won peace is the dream of all clan members. Nara Guang actually didn't want to break it. I'm going to see my great-grandson, but I won't accompany you. Narashima saw that Nara Guang was not depressed and left with peace. Chapter 25. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The two of them were very happy. In the next few days, all the major families of Konoha came to visit the Nara family. On the surface, they were visiting, but in fact, they all wanted to see Nara Hikari. They all wanted to know what Nara Hikari thought. Some people felt sorry for Nara Hikari, while others felt sorry for him. The most uncomfortable among them was the Sarutobi clan. The head of the Sarutobi clan was a little nervous when he saw Nara Hikari. After all, everyone knew exactly what Nara Hikari was capable of, moreover, Nara Hikari was the head of the Umbu, and he controlled a department that could subvert Konoha. The head of the Sarutobi clan was relieved when he learned that Nara Hikari was not interested in the position of Hokage. At the same time, he was no longer as nervous as when he came. Then he went to see the pregnant Sarutobi Biwako, as well as the son of Udatain Koharu and Nara Hikari, and gave them a lot of supplements and gifts, and then left with his guards. Congratulations to the host Nara family Nara Kona for the birth of a child, and reward a sound wave fruit. The system prompt sound finally sounded after a few months. Sound wave fruit. Extract. A fruit appeared in Nara Hikari's hand. The outer circle of the sound wave fruit was like ripples. It was like a sound wave. Nara Hikari took the fruit and began to think about who to give it to. It's time to give it to my parents. After putting the sound wave fruit away, he stood up and found his father who was playing chess. Hikari is here, sit down. Nara Wu pointed to the futon in front of him. After Hikari sat down, Nara Wu looked up at Nara Hikari. Let's play a game. Let's play a game. Nara Hikari said as he arranged the chess pieces. Nara Hikari lost quickly. Hikari, your chess skills are worse than before. Maybe it's because there are more things to do. Nara Hikari set up another game, lost again. No more playing. Nara Hikari leaned against the pillar of the pavilion and looked at the sky. He suddenly understood why Nara Shikamura liked to look at the clouds so much. Of course, it was not to become stronger, but it would really calm him down at this moment. Nara Wu sat down next to Nara Hikari and looked at his son Nara Hikari, who made him proud. In fact, Nara Wu never dreamed that his son would go this far. He brought unprecedented strength to the family. Father, this is for you. Nara Hikari straightened his waist and sat up, then extracted the sound wave fruit from the system. Nara Wu looked at the strange-shaped fruit in front of him. What is this? Its name is the devil fruit, and eating it can give you a special ability. Nara Wu took the sound wave fruit and looked at it for a long time. Eat. Before Nara Hikari could explain, his father Nara Ushio had already taken a bite. I've never eaten such a disgusting fruit. Nara Hikari looked at his father's ugly expression. Try the ability you have gained. Okay. Nara Ushio opened his mouth, and as soon as the word okay came out, a sound wave came out of his mouth. Bang! A beam was broken by the sound wave. Wow! Nara Ushio's shocked voice came out, and another beam was broken. Oh my god! Nara Hikari saw that the pavilion was about to collapse, and hurriedly grabbed Nara Ushio and rushed out. Boom! The sound of the pavilion collapsing attracted a group of women from the Nara family. What's wrong? What's wrong? Nara Masami hurried over and saw the collapsed pavilion, thinking that her home was attacked. A kunai was pulled out from somewhere in her clothes and held in her hand, looking around vigilantly. The others also immediately took fighting stances. Mother, you misunderstood. Father was testing a new ninjutsu and accidentally demolished the pavilion. It would have been fine if Nara Hikari hadn't said anything, but once he did, he felt that the atmosphere was wrong. What do you want to do, Nara Usagi? Destroy the house, right? Nara Masami came to Nara Usagi aggressively and asked loudly, No, madam, I really didn't mean it. If you don't believe me, ask Hikari. When Nara Usagi wanted his son to help him explain, Nara Hikari had already disappeared. Oh my god, son, you are so uncivilized. At this time, Nara Hikari had already brought the girls back to their yard. Hikari, is this really okay? It's okay. Nara Hikari sat on a wooden bench and drank a sip of water. Hikari, I heard that Danzo created an organization called Root. Huh? Nara Hikari looked at her when he heard Udatain Koharu mention Root. He didn't expect Danzo to still create this organization. Danzo model, imitating the operation mode of the Umbu, it is also absorbing orphans, and they are orphans from the 5 major countries. Most of Konoha's senior ninjas are in the Umbu, and there is no high-level combat power in the village. It may take many years for his roots to develop. Isn't this organization created to check and balance your Umbu? Brother has gone too far. Okay, Biwako, let them toss. Nara Hikari looked at Sarutobi Biwako, who was still a little angry. You are already pregnant, so don't worry about these things. I know what's going on. Okay then. Nara Hikari glanced at the girls. Take a rest. Everyone left the yard. Nara Hikari spent 6 days with Wei Xiaobao's day. Soon the day of departure came. The girls and Nara Hikari's parents saw him off. Hitsu, come back soon. Yes, I will. Koharu, help me take care of my father and mother. Yes. Nara Hikari said goodbye to everyone and turned to walk out of the village. The girls and Nara Hikari's parents watched Nara Hikari disappear from their sight before going back. Along the way, Nara Hikari admired the beautiful scenery of the Naruto world. The time of rushing did not seem so boring. Nara Hikari did not use any teleportation ability. Just sat there towards the ancestral country. In fact, there are also means of transportation in the Naruto world, whether it is a more primitive carriage or various animal carts, bicycles, trucks that can only travel in the snow, steam-powered trains and ships, and lightning-powered airships that use lightning chakra as power. In Nara Hikari's memory, there is also a ninja village with a high-technology tree. The Air Ninja Village. In the animation theater, Konoha was attacked, but now Nara Hikari can only walk, because the Fire Country has none of these. There are carriages, but only the nobles of the Fire Country can ride them. Nara Hikari is already thinking about whether to get a summoning beast mount, because the countries signed an armistice agreement. The road to the ancestral country is still quite peaceful. Some villages where civilians live have also resumed agricultural production. Nara Hikari walked for 2 days and he had to speed up, because he was tired of the scenery along the way. 3 days later, Nara Hikari stepped into the territory of the ancestral country. Soon Nara Hikari saw the people of the ancestral country with special hairstyles. They had decorations tied on their foreheads and tied their heads into a strange shape on both sides. Although the ancestral country was a small country in the Naruto world at that time, it was a country that was earlier than the Warring States period and was established by descendants. The ancestral country retained the profession of swordsman, and there was no such thing as ninja here. Most of the practitioners in the village are swordsmen. They will use chakras of various attributes in swordsmanship. Their combat effectiveness is not much weaker than that of ninjas. Want to stay in the hotel? There are beautiful girls. Chapter 26. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The old man was very happy. Nara Hikari, who was looking at the village streets, was startled. Damn, is there a grey industry in the Naruto world? The girls in our shop are very good. Do you want to try it? The man standing next to Nara Hikari was still selling. Out of curiosity, Nara Hikari followed the man into the hotel. As soon as he entered the hotel, he saw a group of girls sitting in the lobby. What kind of services do you provide here? Nara Hikari's words confused the man. What kind of services do you mean, sir? That aspect. Nara Hikari deliberately prolonged his voice. What are you thinking about, sir? This is a legitimate massage shop. Massage. What do you think, customer? I thought it was a massage. Do you want to try it, customer? Let's give it a try. Xiaohua, please serve our customer well. Okay. One of the girls came over. Customer, please follow me. The girl took Nara Hikari into the room. After entering the room, Nara Hikari looked around. The furniture was very simple. There was a bed in the middle, and 2 tables on the left and right. All the massage tools were spread on them. Customer, take off your shirt and lie down. Oh, okay. This was the first time that Nara Hikari had enjoyed this kind of service in a different world in the past 5 years. After Nara Hikari lay down, the girl began to massage. Nara Hikari sighed in his heart. This technique is really good. It made him feel very comfortable. An hour later, Nara Hikari walked out of the massage parlor cursing, because the boss actually ripped him off for 500,000 yuan. Although Nara Hikari has no concept of money in this world, 500,000 yuan is enough for a family to eat, wear and use for a year. When Nara Hikari heard the boss report the amount of consumption, he almost demolished the place, but fortunately, he held back in the end. After leaving the massage parlor, Nara Hikari walked aimlessly on the street. I don't know where to start the investigation. Nara Hikari walked to the stone on the street and sat down. Begin to plan how to find this organization. Just as Nara Hikari started thinking with his rusty brain, a strong chakra fluctuation appeared in his perception. Nara Hikari instantly came to the roof and searched along the perceived chakra fluctuation. In a corner of the village, a boy with his head wrapped in pitcher plants appeared in the field of vision. Nara Hikari instantly disappeared in the shadow under his feet. The little boy seemed to have discovered Nara Hikari and was about to merge into the ground under his feet, but Nara Hikari grabbed his clothes and pulled him out of the soil with a strong pull. The boy's face was strange, half black and half white. He was a member of the Akatsuki organization, named Zetsu. Zetsu. Huh? Do you know my name? With your special look, it's hard not to recognize you. Are you Konoha Nara Hikari? Don't you know me? Let me go. Zetsu wanted to break free from Nara Hikari's hand, but found that he couldn't activate his ability no matter what. Okay, don't waste your energy. Do you know where Madara is? Uchiha Madara? I don't know. You two haven't cooperated yet. I don't know what you are talking about. Zetsu gave up when he saw that there was no hope of breaking free. Nara Hikari also looked at Zetsu. The incarnation of Kagaya Otsutsuki's will in front of him. This guy's combat power is not super strong, but his auxiliary ability is extremely outstanding, whether it is the spore technique, the disguise technique, the mayfly technique, and the various mental attacks of yin-yang escape are all very colorful. In addition, this guy can also use wood release. Although he is not as powerful as Hashirama, he is also a Kage-level fighter. Nara Hikari held Zetsu in front of him. Mangekyō, open. Although there was no sound effect of opening eyes unique to Uchiha, the sudden appearance of a Mangekyō Sharingan with 4 sickles rotating at this time still stunned Zetsu. Are you from Uchiha? Zetsu was just looking for an Uchiha clan member who could carry the 10 tails as a container to revive his mother, and one of them came to him, but Zetsu thought about it and he couldn't beat him. What should he do? Just as Zetsu was thinking about how to deal with it, Nara Hikari's eternal Mangekyō Sharingan began to rotate. Memory imprint. Zetsu panicked. He could feel a sudden surge of yin release chakra entering his brain, although he didn't know what this chakra was for, but the strong sense of crisis made him burst out with a strong desire to survive. He kept struggling, but soon Ju's body stopped moving. His whole body drooped limply. Nara Hikari threw Ju to the ground and blocked this space with the power of shadow. Ju is also a good hand at playing with other people's memories. Although Nara Hikari's is a kaleidoscope, it is still unknown whether it will succeed. After all, this is the first time Nara Hikari has used this ability. Fortunately, the result is satisfactory to Nara Hikari. Ju stood up and came to Nara Hikari. Master, yes, use the pitcher plants beside your head to kill yourself and then resurrect. Yes, Master. Ju did it as he was told, and the pitcher plants on both sides of his head suddenly stabbed towards the middle. Blood splashed out, and Ju fell softly. Then a period of cell fusion repair. Ju stood up again. It is still rare to kill Ju with the ability of would escape with physical ability. Is there a new organization here? Yes, Master, the purpose of my coming here is to absorb this organization into Ultra Magnus. Ultra Magnus? Master, this is the organization I created to revive my mother. Zetsu told all his plans in one go. Zetsu founded Ultra Magnus to find someone suitable as a container for the 10 tails. He set his sights on the Uchiha clan. He came here to absorb the organization here and then find Uchiha Madara who survived Izanami. So far, Zetsu thinks Madara is the most suitable container. Let's go and take me to see this organization. Yes, Master. Zetsu slowly merged into the ground under his feet. Nara Hikari directly merged into the shadow. The two soon found the mysterious organization that appeared in the ancestral country, that is, the organization that cooperated with Kinkaku and Ginkaku to kill Tobirama. Nara Hikari sensed the chakra fluctuations around him. In an underground secret room, there were more than a dozen chakra fluctuations. Among them, there were 8 intermediate Kage-level chakra fluctuations and 5 primary Kage-level chakra fluctuations. There are 13 Kage-level masters in total. Nara Hikaru looked at Ju on the side. They are all Kage-level masters. Are you sure you can recruit them into the organization? Master, yes. Then let me see your methods. Yes, Master. Large pitcher plants rose up under Ju's feet. There were as many as 30 of them. Then the pitcher plants opened from the middle, and a milky white figure jumped out from it. They looked exactly like Ju, and they all had Kage-level strength. Is this your method? Yes, Master. Okay, then you act. Yes, Master. Ju merged into the underground and came to the entrance of the basement. He kicked the door open. Go. After Ju said that, The white Jew around him rushed towards the basement. Chapter 27. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The enemy was in a hurry. 30 white Zetsu with Kage-level strength rushed to the basement. There is an enemy attack. Just when white Zetsu broke open the underground door with one foot, their actions were sensed by the people inside. Sword technique, flowing shadow. A Kage-level swordsman in the basement quickly swung out his shuriken. A sword beam condensed by chakra flew out from the dark corridor. A white Zetsu who was in the front stretched out his hand. Water escape, water dragon technique. The ninjutsu released by the Kage-level was so powerful that it collided with the flying sword beam. Boom. The sound of chakra explosion sounded, the surrounding stone walls rumbled due to the shock, and the top began to collapse while the broken stones flew. Many white Zetsu retreated from the basement corridor and returned to the outside. Then, a swordsman with the strength of Kage rushed out of the basement. The two sides soon entangled again. Although white Zetsu had a single attack method, he relied on the advantage of numbers and suppressed the swordsman's side for a while. As time went on, some swordsmen began to lose for unknown reasons. The defeated swordsmen sat on the ground and lost their fighting power. At this time, white Zetsu, who defeated these swordsmen, suddenly jumped up on the spot and rushed towards the swordsman. What the hell? The swordsmen who had lost their fighting power temporarily due to mental control looked at the approaching white Zetsu in horror. Then, in their surprised and horrified eyes, they were drilled into by white Zetsu. Master, it's done. Zetsu, who was standing next to Nara Hikari, spoke. Nara Hikari looked at Zetsu unexpectedly. He didn't expect this guy to have this trick, and those swordsmen were still struggling, but when Zetsu walked in front of them, they stopped struggling soon. Instead, they lowered their heads. Leader, this is our master. Master, more than a dozen swordsmen with Kage-level strength looked at Nara Hikari respectfully. Can you occupy other people's bodies indefinitely? These swordsmen only practice physical skills, not mental strength. If they encounter a being with a strong will, white Zetsu cannot occupy its body. Zetsu explained on the side. Very good. Do you know where Uchiha Madara is? Master, I wanted to find him. Okay, take me to see him. Yes, Master. The next day, Zetsu not only gathered these 13 swordsmen, but also more than 20 Kage-level strongmen from different countries. These Kage-levels were all those that Nara Hikari had never seen in the original book. Among them were two familiar figures. It was the Kinkaku and Ginkaku who had disappeared for a long time after killing Tobirama. So you have already controlled them. Master, they rebelled after killing the second Raikage. I intercepted the two weak ones on the way and then controlled them. Did you plan to kill Tobirama? Yes, Master. I see. Let's go and see Madara. Yes. Zetsu brought Nara Hikari to a place on the ground. Master, Madara is down there. Okay, lead the way. Yes. As Zetsu finished speaking, a large number of pitcher plants appeared around him. Wrap up the 13 swordsmen and the 20 or so Kage-level warriors. Wrap up everyone and sink into the ground. Zetsu also slowly entered the ground. Then he thought of something and looked at Nara Hikari. Master, do you want to? No need, I will follow you. Nara Hikari didn't want to be wrapped by the pitcher plants. It was painful to think about it. After Ju merged into the ground, Nara Hikari entered the shadow under his feet. When the light became brighter, he saw a corridor dug out of the cave. Master, Madara is inside. Yes. Ju took Nara Hikari along the dim corridor and walked inside. Soon Nara Hikari saw a skinny, weak old man sitting on a stone bench, with all kinds of tubes inserted all over his body. After Nara Hikari approached, the old man raised his head. Who are you? Nara Hikari. Nara Hikari. Uchiha Madara, who was already exhausted, looked at Nara Hikari in confusion. He didn't know Nara Hikari. At this time, Ju had not cooperated with him yet, and Uchiha Madara, who was hiding, did not fully understand the current ninja world. Do you still want to dance? Dance? Uchiha Madara was confused. He didn't understand what Nara Hikari said. Oh, I almost forgot, you don't know this word. Do you want to recover your body and restore your strength in your prime? Ha, kid, do you know how strong I was in my prime? Ahem. Uchiha Madara laughed a few times, but his weak body did not allow him to be so excited. Just say you want to or not. Kid, no matter what your purpose is, I, Uchiha Madara, will never be inferior to others in my life. Don't waste your energy. I will find a way to recover. Uchiha Madara fell silent after speaking. It seems that you don't want to drink the wine. What? Kid, do you still want to fight? Uchiha Madara looked up at Nara Hikari with disdain. Even if I'm weak now, you'll still have to work hard to defeat me. Uchiha Madara squinted his eyes and looked at Nara Hikari. Are you overconfident? Not to mention that you're weak now, I didn't even take you seriously in your prime. Boy, you're so arrogant. Uchiha Madara looked at Nara Hikari angrily. No one has ever dared to insult him like this. Even if it costs my life, I'll make you taste the price of underestimating me. Uchiha Madara, after saying that, he was going to break free from these tubes. Lu Jingo, Nara Hikari's voice had just fallen. Lu Jingo, a dog-headed human body, appeared beside Nara Hikari. A powerful aura emanated, spreading around like a substance. Uchiha Madara, who was just about to burst out, was instantly suppressed by this aura, so strong. Uchiha Madara realized at this moment that the boy in front of him was not bragging, even if he was indeed not necessarily able to defeat the dog-headed human body in front of him in his prime. What exactly are you going to do? Take you in as my subordinate? You're dreaming. Even if I die, I will not be inferior to others. Uchiha Madara became more and more angry as he spoke. However, he was suppressed by Lu Jingo. He could not move. Can you control him? Master, I can't. The Uchiha clan also practices In-style chakra, and their willpower and mental strength are strong. I can only modify a little bit of his memory, but I can't take away all his will. Okay. Nara Hikari had a headache for a while. He used his Mangekyō on Zetsu. If he wants to activate it again, he has to wait for 2 years. There is really no way to control him at the moment, but it's a pity to miss it like this, because he will be a good fighter in the future. Do we have to wait 2 years? Nara Hikari thought for a long time and had no idea, so he could only rely on the Mangekyō, but Nara Hikari didn't have the ability to talk. Don't let him die. Come back in 2 years. Yes, master. Let's go back. Yes. Boy, don't dream. I'd rather die then. Nara Hikari disappeared before Uchiha Madara finished speaking. Chapter 28. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The first thing that happened was that the whole world was in chaos. Nara Hikari didn't expect that there would be so many unexpected surprises this time. First of all, he controlled Zetsu, as a Hokage intelligence expert. With this guy, everything that happened in the Naruto world will be known. In addition, Uchiha Madara was discovered. With Uchiha Madara, the Otsutsuki clan will have a general in the future when facing the Six Paths realm, but the premise is to help Uchiha become Six Paths. Madara, Nara Hikari looked at the more than 30 Kage-level strongmen behind Zetsu. Except for Kinkaku and Ginkaku, he was not familiar with the others, and they were all characters that had never appeared in anime and comics. How many Kage-level white Zetsu do you have? Master, more than 100. So many. They were all created by Kagaya Otsutsuki using the infinite moon reading ability. Nara Hikari heard this and thought about who would use the devil fruit in the future. Uchiha Madara is in your hands. Don't let him die. Continue to develop the Otsutsuki clan and absorb the rebel ninjas from all countries. I want to master the strongest force in the world to fight against the Otsutsuki clan. Yes, master. Nara Hikari instantly disappeared in the shadow under his feet. After watching Nara Hikari leave, Zetsu returned to the underground with all his subordinates under his control. Nara Hikari left the ancestral country and flew towards Konoha. Just as he was about to enter the territory of the Land of Fire, a powerful chakra wave appeared under his feet. Nara Hikari looked over following the chakra wave. There was a huge monster wreaking havoc there, tailed beast. Nara Hikari had only seen that huge chakra wave on the tailed beast. At this time, this tailed beast was accumulating power for an attack similar to the tailed beast Jade. The ones fighting against them were a group of women. They had some characteristics of monsters. Some had dragon horns and dragon tails, some had tiger claws, some had a pair of golden wings, and some carried a tortoise shell. There was no sense of disobedience for a girl to carry a tortoise shell. Among these women, only the one with dragon horns and dragon tails had the primary level of Kage, and the tailed beast they were facing had a huge chakra close to the advanced level of Kage. Nara Hikari approached. When he got closer, he found that although these women had some characteristics of monsters, they all looked good. Since they were women, there was a reason to save them. The power of shadow was activated, and the woman in danger was rescued and then sent to a distance. Get out of the way. Nara Hikari flew through the women and punched the tailless-tailed beast on the back. Then he sent the energy of the explosion fruit into it, and then the tailless-tailed beast was blown away. Back off, the further the better. Nara Hikari shouted to the surroundings. When these women saw Nara Hikari punching the tailless-tailed beast away, their eyes suddenly lit up, and they turned around and jumped far away obediently. When they were far enough away, they stopped and looked over there. Nara Hikari saw that they had retreated far away, and turned his head to look at this huge monster. I'm just in need of a pet. Nara Hikari disappeared instantly. Roar. The tailless-tailed beast opened its huge mouth and roared, slapping in the direction where Nara Hikari was rushing. Nara Hikari raised his hand to meet it. It collided violently with the claws of the tailless-tailed beast. Explode. Nara Hikari triggered the ability of the explosion fruit, and then detonated the explosion fruit energy in the monster's body. Boom. A thunderous roar sounded. A flame shock wave spread from the center of the explosion to the surroundings. Not good. The woman with dragon tail and dragon horn immediately sensed the extremely powerful energy shock wave in the strong wind. After thinking it was not good, she was about to take her people away from here. Unfortunately, when she reacted, it was too late to retreat. The shock wave had already come close to them. They watched the shock wave approaching in a panic. At this moment, Nara Hikari suddenly appeared in front of them, raised his hand, and repulsive force appeared, compressing all the shock waves that were about to spread around, pressed back to the center of the explosion. Then the shock wave disappeared in front of everyone. Nara Hikari clapped his hands. These women breathed a sigh of relief, feeling like they had survived a disaster. When they looked at the huge pit that appeared in the center of the explosion, they saw the dying, tailless-tailed beast lying in the big pit. Everyone looked at Nara Hikari in shock. Thank you for your help. The woman with dragon tail and dragon horn. The woman came to Nara Hikari and thanked him. What's going on? It's called Gene, and it appears every 10 years or so. Oh. Nara Hikari looked at the monster whose strength was only slightly inferior to that of the tailed beast. Then Nara Hikari came to the monster. Do you want to follow me in the future? The tailless-tailed beast glared at Nara Hikari. Oh, it looks like I need to beat you up. As soon as Nara Hikari raised his fist, a voice transmission entered his brain. No, 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 can't I follow you? You can transmit the voice. Yes, I can only speak after I advance to the next level. Can you get smaller? Yes. As he spoke, the monster began to shrink rapidly, and in the blink of an eye it shrank to the size of a puppy. At this time, Nara Hikari could see its appearance clearly. It has all the characteristics of the four beasts: dragon, tiger, phoenix, and turtle. Nara Hikari thought of something and looked at the women. Just when Nara Hikari wanted to ask Jean what the monster characteristics of these women were, the woman with dragon tail and dragon horn came to his side. Thank you for your help. Why don't you come to our village and sit down so that we can thank you too? Okay. How can you refuse a beautiful woman's invitation? Jean shrank again and jumped onto Nara Hikari's shoulder to the size of a mouse. Nara Hikari followed the group of women to their village. The women warmly entertained Nara Hikari. Nara Hikari was almost unable to resist their enthusiasm. Tell me about your village. Nara Hikari was a little curious. Why are there women fighting Jean, but no men? After an hour of narration, Nara Hikari knew the ins and outs of this village. The village is called Four Beasts Village. Jean is a monster that existed before the Warring States period, and this village has lasted for thousands of years. The village was influenced by the 5 great nations and elected a Kage, and this woman with a dragon tail and dragon horns was the Kage of the Four Beast Village. When Jean first appeared, this place suffered a catastrophe, but Jean was sealed again at a great cost. But the seal must be strengthened every 10 years, otherwise Jean will run out. By chance, the Four Beast Village discovered that Jin's blood can allow women who drink it to practice, enhance physical strength and gain animal abilities. This is why Nara Hikaru saw women fighting. Now Jean has been subdued by me. What are your plans? The meaning of our existence is to prevent Jean from making trouble. Now, the Kage of the Four Beast Village was confused after speaking. Jean on the side hummed, "Why not go to Konoha?" Chapter 29. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The two of them were very excited. Konoha? Yes. Who are you? My name is Nara Hikari. So you are Lord Nara Hikari. I finally see you alive. Alive? Ah, no, I finally see you in person. The people who were eating looked at Nara Hikari excitedly, as excited as if they had seen an idol. You know me? Nara Hikari looked at Shochuan, the female shadow of the four-beast village. Unexpectedly, of course, your name has long been known in the ninja world. You are a hero who settled the ninja world war with your own strength. Shochuan looked at Nara Hikari with admiration, just like the emotion of a little girl when she sees something she likes. If you hadn't stopped the war from expanding further, our four-beast village might not exist anymore, and would have been conquered by the Hidden Rock village, and Jean might have escaped long ago. Shochuan became more and more excited as he spoke. Nara Hikaru was a little embarrassed. After all, he felt a little uncomfortable being stared at with such admiration by a woman who was more than a dozen years older than him. What about joining Konoha? I need to discuss this with others. Master Beast Shadow, we are willing to join Konoha, you don't need to discuss this with us. As soon as Shochuan finished speaking, a woman behind him responded loudly, Yes, Master Beast Shadow, I really want to go to Konoha. After all, the land of Earth is too chaotic, and now Jin's problem has been solved. I really don't want to live the days of the past anymore. A man's words silenced Shochuan. In recent years, the four-beast village has to guard against the robbers and bandits everywhere in the land of Earth in order to seal Jin, and too many people have died for this. The families attending tonight's party have all experienced the pain of losing their loved ones. They also hope to live a peaceful life one day. Master Guang, since everyone agrees, I agree too. Well, give everyone a few days to pack up, and then we will set off for Konoha. Okay, let's drink. The enthusiastic atmosphere of the party was pushed to the peak. Whether it was men, women, the elderly, or children, they were excited and cheered while imagining the future. After the party, everyone returned home. Nara Guang was arranged by Shochuan to stay in her own home. Shochuan's home was only her, because the responsibility of the shadow of the four-beast village was heavy. The ancestral precepts did not allow the shadow to marry before Jin was resolved. A single man and a single woman lived in the same room. Dry firewood and blazing fire, mutual sympathy, and the effect of alcohol. The emotions of the two were instantly raised to the peak. This night, Shochuan, who was already in her 30s and had no partner, completed the transformation from a girl to a real woman. Nara Guang got up from bed early the next morning. After taking a look at Shochuan who was sleeping beside him, he put on his clothes and tiptoed out of the room. As soon as he walked out of the room, the voice of the system sounded in his head. Congratulations to the host system, the system is about to be upgraded, please wait. 10 seconds later, system upgrade completed. The following functions are added after the fertility and prosperity system upgrade. You no longer need to give birth to offspring to get rewards, you only need to be pregnant to get the generous rewards of the fertility and prosperity system, including weapons, abilities, devil fruits, and characters. The system turns on the storage function. In addition to storing the characters and items rewarded by the system, it can also store any items except living things. The system is upgraded for the first time, and rewards 5 devil fruits, 3 Zanpakuto, a supernatural sentinel, and a two-dimensional beauty knight Denise from the anime sword. A series of prompt sounds from the system came into Nara Hikari's ears from the cerebral cortex. Nara Hikari was so excited that he couldn't speak. First of all, the reward no longer requires the hard condition of giving birth to offspring. This alone is great. If things can be stored, Nara Hikari doesn't need to carry the waist bag and leg bag. The last thing that excited Nara Hikari was the reward. Extract the character. As soon as Nara Hikari finished speaking, a man and a woman appeared. In front of him, the man wore a metal eagle mask, a black combat uniform, and his hands were wrapped in a strange metal. The woman had silver hair, silver medieval knight armor, and a long sword that was much taller than her. Nara Hikari sensed the two. The energy level in their bodies was perceived as the primary level of Super Shadow. It was one level lower than Lu Jing'o. Take it back. The sentinel and Denise disappeared in front of Nara Hikari. The next step was to wait for the villagers. of the four-beast village to pack up and then return to Konoha together. The relationship between the two quickly heated up. This attracted the envious eyes of the single women in the village. Congratulations to the host, the beast shadow of the four-beast village is pregnant. This is the first time that a female companion of the Kage level is pregnant. Reward, 1 fence fruit and 1 spring fruit. 3 days later, the system's voice sounded again. Nara Hikari was surprised to hear this prompt. He didn't expect it to be so accurate so soon. With 2 fruits in hand, it seemed to open up a new world for him. Can I promote them to Kage level first? As Nara Hikari thought about it, the corners of his mouth rose unconsciously. The next few days passed quickly, and all the villagers of the four-beast village had almost packed up. Some pushed carts and some carried loads. Nara Hikari brought them to Konoha. So many people coming to Konoha at the same time naturally attracted the attention of the Konoha guard. They informed Hiruzen of the news. Hiruzen, who got the news, hurried to the gate and saw hundreds of people walking towards this side. He was carrying a lot of things in his hands. Hiruzen led the newly formed Umbu Hokage guard to meet them. Mitsu. Counselor, who are these people? Hiruzen looked at these strangers and asked. They are villagers of the four-beast village who live on the border of the land of fire. Four-beast village? Hiruzen recalled that there seemed to be such a small village in his impression. Are they coming to Konoha to settle down? Yes. Oh, do you want me to arrange it? No need, they will live in the Nara family land in the future. Okay. Hiruzen did not insist. After all, Nara Hikari was not easy to offend. After watching Nara Hikari leave with these people, Hiruzen returned to the Hokage building. Hokage-sama. Send someone to monitor. Yes. The Umbu Hokage guard disappeared instantly. After the guards left, Hiruzen walked to the window and looked at the Nara family. Nara Hikaru, what on earth are you going to do? On the other side, Nara Hikaru took these people back to the Nara family and told the clan leader about their affairs. The clan leader had absolute trust in Nara Hikaru, and did not even ask where these people came from, and immediately arranged for the Nara clan to take these people to a suitable residence. Shochuin was arranged by Nara Hikaru to live in his own home. Well, just a few days ago, I didn't see you. And you brought back a woman, Nara Hikaru, what can I say about you? As soon as he walked into the yard to introduce Shochuin to his mother Nara Masami, he was greeted by his mother's stormy questioning. Nara Hikaru was embarrassed to contradict his mother at this time, so he could only let her scold him, until Nara Masami was tired of scolding. She looked at Shochuin. What a beautiful girl. Come, I'll take you to choose a room. Nara Masami took Shochuin's hand and walked inside. She didn't forget to turn around and give Nara Hikari a cold look. She felt helpless. After all, Nara Hikari was her own son, and she had to clean up his mess. Nara Hikari brought a new woman home, so naturally all the women returned to the Nara family out of curiosity. Chapter 30. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The two of them were very close. Nara Hikari threw this headache to his mother. For the health of his ears, Nara Hikari came to the Umbu building. Mr. Minister, Nara Hikari had just entered the office. Nishido and Silbai used the instant body technique to come behind him. Well, tell me what happened recently. Yes, Minister, during the time Nara Hikari was away, several major events happened in Konoha. The first one was that Sarutobi Hiruzen established a new Umbu in the name of Hokage. He absorbed a group of powerful ninjas. The exact number of people is unknown. Among them are the Sarutobi clan, the Mito clan, the Uchiha clan, the Yumano clan, the Oat clan, the Marino clan, the Kamatsuki clan, and many civilian ninjas. The Umbu established by Hiruzen is not like the Umbu of Nara Hikari, which only absorbs elite chunin and above ninjas, but also absorbs a large number of chunin. On the surface, it is to establish the Hokage guard, but in fact it is to weaken the influence of Nara Hikari's Umbu. The second thing is that Sarutobi Hiruzen became the third-generation Hokage, and he officially accepted the consent of the Fire Country daimyo. Now Hiruzen is the real third-generation Hokage of Konoha village. Hiruzen also successfully broke through to the Kage level recently. This makes his Hokage more legitimate. The third thing is that the Shimura clan and Danzo secretly conducted human experiments, and the object of research was naturally Hashirama cells. Unfortunately, just like the original Naruto world, hundreds of orphans and even ninjas brought back from all over the world, but unfortunately none of them succeeded. It is not that there is nothing to gain, but it has made Danzo a little progress. This made Danzo, who was in urgent need of experimental subjects, turned his attention to Konoha village. Every few days, Konoha ninjas disappeared inexplicably, and finally they were noticed by the Konoha high-level officials. Following the clues, they found the Shimura clan. After the incident was exposed, before Hiruzen Zumbu had time to take action, Nishido took action with his men. Unfortunately, Danzo got the news in advance and defected. Nishido found out that Hiruzen had secretly met with Danzo a few days before his action. Nishido believed that Danzo would defect at such a coincidence, and someone must have tipped him off in advance. However, all the members of the Shimura clan who were related to the disappearance of Konoha's population were killed by Nishido. All the chakras of the genin and jonin were destroyed, and they became useless from then on. It can be said that the foundation that the entire Shimura clan had worked hard to accumulate for hundreds of years was completely destroyed. The reason why the Shimura clan was not wiped out was because Sarutobi Hiruzen came forward in time. Nishido almost had a big fight with Sarutobi Hiruzen. However, he was stopped by Udatane Koharu, and he gave up for the sake of his longtime friend. In addition to Sarutobi Biwako's plea, Nishido naturally couldn't say anything more. In the end, women, children, and some elderly people were spared. The remaining members of the Shimura clan were all under surveillance. It is believed that within a few years, the Shimura clan will be unable to recover without the support of the strong, and finally become the dust of history. If anyone from the Shimura clan dares to make trouble and kill without mercy, there is no need to report it first and then report it later. Yes, Minister. Go down. Yes. Nishido and Silbai left. Nara Hikari saw that it was getting late, so he got up and walked towards home. Walking on the street, Nara Hikari felt that the atmosphere was a little wrong. Because of the extermination of the Shimura clan, people in Konoha are now in a panic. Nishido's ruthlessness, it indirectly pushed some neutral families to Hiruzen's side. But Nara Hikari didn't care. He only cared about how to get rewards. Fortunately, Nara Hikari had a pair of strong kidneys. Otherwise this system of having many children would be useless. After returning home, Nara Hikari found that his family had accepted Shochuin's arrival. Dozens of women were sitting in the pavilion in the yard, talking and laughing. I'm back. Nara Hikari wanted to shout, just to attract their attention, but unfortunately no one paid attention to him. Still chatting, Nara Hikari had no choice but to go find his father. Shochuin looked at Nara Hikari, who left dejectedly. Mother, is this really okay? What? Are you distressed? That he has been spoiled by you. You have been out for a day and didn't come back until the sun went down. Okay, I'll prepare dinner later. You guys can chat first. Nara Masami saw that Shochuin wanted to say something, so she interrupted him. Then she stood up and walked towards the kitchen. Shochuin looked at the man sitting in the kitchen, Koharu Udatane next to him. Did I make my mother angry? How could that be? Why does my mother seem to hate me? Don't get me wrong, that's just my mother's personality, you just have to get used to it. Okay. Shochuin was still a little worried. Haru, tell us what kind of monster that gene looks like. Yes, tell us how you got the ability to turn into a dragon man. A group of women started chatting again. It made Shochuin forget his depressed mood temporarily. Walked into the pavilion behind the attic. He saw his father Nara-wu lying on a recliner with his eyes closed, humming a little song leisurely. Nara Hikaru sat next to Nara-wu. Why are you coming to me instead of accompanying your wife? Nara-wu actually envied his son a little bit. He had the same hobby as Jiraiya, one of the future 3 ninjas, then collect women's materials. It's just that one likes to write novels and draw comics, and Nara-wu just draws. Aren't you afraid of your wife? Hey, Nara-wu sighed. He stretched out his hand and pinched the clouds floating in the sky. Tell me, what did you do this time? I met Uchiha Madara. Uchiha Madara? Nara-wu sat up in surprise when he heard the name. Yes, didn't Uchiha Madara die together with Lord Hashirama? He didn't die so easily. What happened later? I planned to take him in as my subordinate. Nara-wu looked at Nara Hikaru in surprise. What are you going to do? Father, in the future, a group of powerful alien races will come to this world, and the weak will live in hell. The only way to survive at that time is to become strong. Alien race? Yes, they are called the Otsutsuki clan. Then Nara Hikari told his father Nara Usagi the story of the Otsutsuki clan. these were all things Nara Usagi had never heard of. An hour later, Nara Usagi let out a long sigh. All members are at the 6 paths level. Nara Usagi was shocked by the name of this realm. Originally, he thought that Hashirama was already at the top. It turns out that there are even more powerful enemies above. How did you know all this? Don't worry about this, father. Anyway, what I said is true. Okay. Nara Usagi believed what Nara Hikari said. The two chatted for a while, and it was time for dinner. Nara Hikari and Nara Usagi walked towards the kitchen. Chapter 31. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the following days, Nara Hikari had more free time, because some of the tasks of the Umbu were taken over by the newly established Umbu of Sarutobi Hiruzen. Nara Hikari's daily workload was reduced by nearly half compared to usual. There were also fewer S-level tasks. This led to the embarrassing situation of the senior ninjas under Nara Hikari having no tasks to do, but everyone had no complaints. Most of the old Umbu members chose to return to their lives temporarily, in his free time. Nara Hikari either accompanied his women and parents or went to see Uzumaki Mido and Tsunade, but every time Uzumaki Mido saw Nara Hikari, he would feel deeply guilty. Guang, do you blame Tobarama for not passing the position of Hokage to you? Aunt, I've said it many times. I didn't intend to be the Hokage. You know my personality. I don't like trouble. I understand that Uncle Tobarama is doing it for Konoha. Guang, although you always say that you don't care, I still feel bad in my heart. Aunt, let me tell you the truth. The reason why I agreed to Uncle Tobarama's leading the team to fight against the Hidden Cloud Village so readily for the first time was actually because I had selfish motives. Selfish motives? I've never heard you say this. In fact, everything I did was for my family. I didn't think so far ahead at the beginning. I just felt that if the Land of Fire was gone, Konoha would be gone. If Konoha was gone, my home would be gone, and the Nara family would return to the days of displacement. Is it true? Of course, why would I lie to you? Nara Guang pretended to be serious. Of course I lied to you. Do I have a system to tell you? In fact, he had agreed to Tobarama to go out and fight against the Hidden Cloud Village troops. On the one hand, it was for his family, and on the other hand, it was for his reputation. According to the Naruto world that Nara Hikari knew, only those powerful ninjas would be favored by girls. In Nara Hikari's memory, the first one was Naruto, although this guy didn't get the attention of Haruno Sakura, but his actions attracted and changed another girl, Hinata Hyuga, and in all the theaters where Naruto appeared, relying on his tenacious spiritual charm, he would be liked by girls wherever he went. In fact, they were attracted by Naruto's strength. There are many other examples. The fourth-generation Hokage Minato also attracted the favor of Uzumaki Kushina with his powerful talent, and the recognition of the Uzumaki clan. There are too many such examples. Without strong strength, they are generally single or soy sauce. This is the real reason why Nara Hikari showed his strength without reservation. This is also the most direct feeling when he first became famous in the ninja world. Fame in the ninja world equals gaining admiration equals many children and blessings system. Reward, that's all for today, Auntie. I'm going back. Thank you for your hospitality. I'm so full. Okay, then Guang must come often. Uzumaki Mido looked at Nara Guang with a smile. Brother, will you come to see Tsunade tomorrow? A childish voice sounded beside Nara Guang. Of course, I will come to see Tsunade again tomorrow. Nara Guang leaned down and touched Tsunade's little head. That's great, Trojan. Tsunade kissed Nara Guang on the face, then she ran away quickly. Nara Guang looked at Tsunade jumping away, and felt a little evil in his heart. However, Nara Guang also felt a little regretful. Now he is 21 years old, but he is 16 years older than Tsunade, but who can say for sure what will happen in the future? Nara Guang said goodbye to Uzumaki Mido and left the yard. Uzumaki Mido looked at Nara Hikari who was leaving. All I can do for Hiruzen is comfort you. What on earth are you going to do? Are you really going to force Hikari to go down another path? Do you know what you are doing? Uzumaki Mido sighed, feeling sorry and worried for Hiruzen who was blinded by power. The next day, Nara Hikari, Yutane Koharu, and Yamanaka Manshin came to the old Umbu building as usual. Minister. Yes. Nara Hikari walked to the office chair and sat down, his eyes turned to Salapi who was standing in front of him. Minister, Hokage consultant Mito Kaduin took over the route founded by Danzo. Yes. Wasn't the route destroyed? Nara Hikari looked at Salapi in confusion. No, when Nishido went to capture Danzo, Danzo defected and most of the route members were not there. Nishido cleaned up the .is just a small and medium-sized character. Anything else? Minister, Uchiha Kagami is dead, huh? When? Just yesterday, we found his body in the Valley of the End, and his eyes were dug out. The first thing Nara Hikaru thought of when he heard this was the missing Danzo. Check it out immediately. Yes, Surabi released the instant body technique and disappeared. It seems that Danzo, the old shaman, has other adventures. Hitsu, are you saying that Danzo dug out Kagami's eyes? Yamazaki Manshin on the side spoke. I'm just guessing. I still know Uchiha Kagami's strength. He has opened 3 Magatama and is infinitely close to the level of Kage. There are not many people in the ninja world who can defeat him, let alone kill him, but Danzo is just an elite jonin. How can he kill Kagami? Uchiha Kagami is one of the few friendly people in the Uchiha clan. With the cunningness of Danzo, it is not difficult for him to approach Uchiha Kagami first and deceive him and then attack instantly. Udatain Koharu and Yamanaka Manshin also felt that Nara Hikari's explanation made sense. Just as Nara Hikari was about to continue speaking, the ground shook. A white Zetsu emerged from the ground. Who is it? Udatain Koharu and Yamanaka Manshin were startled by the sudden appearance of the white Zetsu, and then immediately took a fighting stance. Secret technique, Yamanaka binding technique. Yamanaka Manshin raised his hands, opened his thumbs and put his hands together, and released the family secret technique towards the suddenly appeared white Zetsu. Wait, it's our own people. Just when Yamanaka Manshin's secret technique was about to hit white Zetsu, the latter dodged it in an instant. Yamanaka Manshin stopped and did not continue to release the secret technique. What's wrong? Master, the leader has recruited a Konoha rebel ninja. Konoha rebel ninja? What's his name? Nara Hikari didn't expect that Danzo had just left for a few days, but he was actually absorbed into the Ultra Akatsuki organization by Zetsu. Master, I learned from the leader that this person is called Shimura Shiro. Shimura Shiro? Nara Hikari thought it was Danzo, but it turned out not to be. Is there anyone in the Shimura family who escaped the net? Nara Hikari didn't expect that in addition to Shimura Danzo, there was another person who escaped the net, and he also joined Ultra Akatsuki. But Nara Hikari always felt that this name sounded familiar, but he couldn't remember it for a while. Shimura Shiro. Shimura Shiro? Nara Hikari suddenly remembered. When he first led the team, there was a ninja who handed him meat soup, and it seemed to be this name. It's him. Nara Hikari recalled that he had kept him alive at the time. Anything else?